Tori, what's on the line for the Dogs this Saturday?
Well, Annie, there is a lot on the line for this game this coming Saturday because a win on Saturday would mean that a championship trophy like the one behind me would be coming home here to Butts-Mehre. But it's more than what is going to happen on Saturday. For what happens after Saturday, the SEC title game is a chance for Georgia to enact revenge on Auburn for beating them earlier in the season. But it's also a chance to get through to the playoffs. Auburn and Georgia are teeing it up at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's supposed to be a neutral site, but Georgia players say that a crowd full of Georgia fans could be the difference maker this time around.
So right now, you just saw that Rockdale's offense was finally getting in the swing of things, finally getting the ball down in the red zone. But what you might not know is what it might take a little while for them to be able to make any type of adjustments on offense because Therese Alexander, this is only his second time being out on the field as a quarterback since 7th grade. He told us that 2 weeks ago when Justin Steele got hurt and injured his shoulder that he really just went up to Coach Maynard and said, Coach, just give me a shot. We'll see if this offensive prowess continues going into the second quarter.
Well, Carson, we of course knew that tickets for the SEC Championship were going to be a little bit pricey. But when you compare it to other Power 5 championship games that are all going on this weekend, the prices are strikingly different. And if you're an SEC fan, it'll likely cost you.
The Vikings really ran over the Rams. 57-0 was the final score. And we talked to Newton's head coach, Terrence Banks, earlier in the week, and he really took responsibility for the loss. And he said that he didn't think that he prepared his guys or his coaching staff enough to face Lowndes last Friday night.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here with Matt Turner, the offensive coordinator for East Hall. Thank you for joining me, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, initial reaction, what does this win mean for this program?
It's huge for our program. I think it's been 15, 20 years since we went to the second round. And, for our kids, as hard as they've worked and time they've put in, our seniors, they've been so devoted to our program. It's huge for our kids and for our program, for our community and our school and all that. So.
Absolutely. And I have to ask about Parker, Morris, those guys, 4 touchdown passes, catches. What do you just have to say about these guys?
They're unbelievable. Those guys have been doing it all year long. Parker, he's our do-everything guy. Anything we ask him to do, he's just a phenomenal kid. He's so underrated to people that don't get to see him play, and it's been an honor for myself and the rest of our coaches to have him for 4 years.
Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us. I'm here with Matt Turner, offensive coordinator for East Hall, as they just defeated Morgan County 50-36. I'm going to send you to commercial break, but we'll be back after this.
Revenge at the Binge is only 4 days away. I'm Tori McElhaney with your sports update, and I'll have more on what Georgia players had to say about the SEC Championship coming up this Saturday. More on that after the break.
Offensive line, you have Kendrick Carlton, Louis Naza, Christian Murray. All of these guys are big guys. Look at Carlton out there. He is 6'5", 325 pounds. If he wants to make a hole for his running back, he's going to. And speaking of running back, Nuru Tinch, he's had a pretty significant first half. Just looking at his stat line, he has 12 carries, 137 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's all because this big offensive line is able to move a smaller Heritage defense away and make a hole for the running back. So Kirby Smart says that playing in the Benz is a little different than playing at home. He says that being in the dome makes the crowd a lot louder, and for players, the game is a lot faster.
Hey guys, what just happened was the offensive backs coach, Coach Barris, was just ejected from the game for making a derogatory comment towards the officials a few plays ago. He is the father of David Barris, who's the running back, starting running back for Rockdale County. We'll hopefully have more updates as the game progresses.
If you look at his stats, 3 sacks in the opening week against Drew High School, a fumble recovery in Newton's 3rd week. He's just doing all these things, but also be on the lookout for junior outside linebacker Cosby Craig. He's somebody who Coach says makes a lot of the tackles in the backfield.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the University of Georgia football team has a shot at the SEC Championship crown this coming weekend. All they have to do is beat the one team that beat them this season, the Auburn University Tigers. The winner of that game gets a possible berth into the national championship playoffs. After talking to some rabid UGA fans, we dubbed this game with the hashtag Revenge at the Benz. But Georgia football players say it's less about revenge and more about winning a championship.
So after not scoring in that last drive before going into halftime, what did y'all kind of change and adjust during halftime to come out and score those 2 touchdowns in the 3rd?
Well, we was in the room talking, and like Coach said, we got Lamborghinis on the outside. They got wheels, so we got to get them the ball so they can make plays.
The increase in ticket prices for the SEC Championship game might have a little something to do with the rematch set between Auburn and Georgia. Many Georgia fans want revenge for Auburn's 40-17 beatdown of the Bulldogs that they gave to the Bulldogs back at the beginning of November. I'll be back later on in the studio to talk more about what Georgia football players had to say about this upcoming matchup, as well as whether or not revenge has anything to do with this SEC championship game. Live in front of Sanford Stadium, I'm Tori McElhaney, Grady News Source.
What went right for East Hall was the amount of weapons that Austin Park was able to get into and use. What went wrong for Morgan County was just not being able to do the same thing in return. They didn't answer when they needed to.
You said before the game that you really wanted your team to dictate the tempo. Do you think that y'all were able to do that tonight?
I think so.
Tori McElhaney at Buttsmere, where the Dogs reevaluated their attack. Tori, what does Georgia need to do on Saturday to bring home a win and another trophy?
Well, Jane, Georgia needs to clean up a lot of things, but the one thing that Kirby Smart says needs to improve the most, they need to play a lot more physical. Kirby Smart and players say that playing more physical and also being mentally tough might change the outcome of this game come Saturday, and you might see another trophy here after the game on Saturday. Live from Buttsmere, I'm Tori McElhaney, Grady News Source.